What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 4 of Hearts and Arts. And I am back again with another fellow GMP member and fellow UCR student. Well, he's a student there right now, but I just graduated. Alvin. Alvin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep. Sup, guys? My name's Alvin Peralta. I am now entering my second year at UCR for TFDP, and I am a writer and an actor. So that's me. That's who I am.
Both on and off the stage,
hmm
writing, acting, and if I'm not mistaken, directing as well, filmmaking.
Not yet. Hopefully in the future. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I've seen a few of your works in film, and I'll get into it later in the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, um, Alvin, as he said, is an actor and a writer, and I've seen his works before. I've seen him in Life on the Art, which is what I am excited to get to. In fact, you're in the same environment with the playwright of Life on the Art. She'll make a cameo if she'll like to, and I encourage. Alrighty. Um, let's start off with your experience of coming in as well last year as a freshman at UCR and getting a head start in the theater department and Golden Mean Players. How was that for you, and how's it going right now, Alvin?
Yeah. So entering my first year, I was, well, fresh out of high school, and I moved from Newport Beach to San Bernardino and to go to school here. And I had no friends. I had no college help because I'm first gen. And I chose my degree for, well, mainly film. Going into my first lecture was an intro to theater class taught by Kimberly Guerrero. I went into that theater and I was I don't know the feeling. It felt right. And after a few of those lectures, the president of GMP came to speak in the class, Myra, and she told everyone, "Hey guys, Golden Mean Players is a theater club you can join in at UCR." I'm like, "All right, I'll see what I can do. I'll give it a shot." And I heard they were doing shows. Um, A Night of Alice Gerstenberg. I auditioned. I got the part. I was like, "Hex yeah!" Um, and that's basically how I got involved with GMP. I did that thing, and now I'm an officer. One half of a recruitment chair.
How about that? Things are going uphill since you
hmm
first stepped into the theater your freshman year. Um, I just got to ask, when you started like as a freshman and when you stepped into the theater for the first time, the university theater, did you have that feeling where you were like, I can get used to this. Like this is a good vibe right here.
At first, I was really intimidated
Of
because
course, there it is.
in high school I wasn't like an outcast or anything, but I was away. I was in wrestling. I was one of those guys. I didn't have anything to do with theater, anything film related. Until I took a class, I'm like, I really want to do film. But then I went to that intro to theater lecture, and yeah, I was still intimidated. The people, theater theater people are very expression filled,
Energetic.
energetic. Yeah, that's exactly the word. And it took me some time to adjust, but like the natural empath I am, of course I do it. Uh, and
I
I accustomed.
I know that feeling. Because again, growing up, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, I was an introvert myself, but theater helped me break out of that shell. And I remembered when I was in high school, I carried a bit of my introverted personality with me until my fellow theater kids over in high school. Uh, this is going to sound weird, but they broke me. They broke my my introverted personality, and then eventually one of them came up to me and said, "You're one of us now." you're one of the weirdos now.
It's good to be weird.
Yeah, it's fun to be weird. That's how theater is, and I love it. I wouldn't change it any in any way whatsoever. Alrighty.
Exactly.
Yep. And you said you were on the wrestling team back in high school?
Yeah, I was.
With that kind of physicality background, just like myself, a former football player slash athlete, uh, did you ever like have a thought of being your high school theater's resident stuntman?
The thought has never occurred to me, but I've always, been thrown around real well. I've got great, you know, damage control physically. So I could do it, yeah.
Yeah, you've got the endurance. Your body is built for it. It could have worked out. I mean, uh, I had that thought too my senior year. I took so many bumps and falls in certain shows. Like I'm gonna keep bringing this up again. The concussion I got in Midsummer Night's Dream, and walked it off with a smile on my face. Stunts. All right, and Alvin, I've gotten to this subject with my previous guest, um, and that is uh, finding your spark. Like every artist finds their spark some way. And my question to you is, what helped you find your spark? Like, where did you know? When did you know you wanted to go down this path of theater?
It was in high school. Junior year, I took a film class, and all we did was watch movies. Uh, but there are times where we would analyze scenes in certain movies, and I remember the exact movie was Psycho, and we analyzed Psycho in a certain scene, and I was like one of three people who actually did the assignment because I was really invested and interested in it. And that was like half of the spark. That was a little lighter. Um, but then I took a creative writing class senior year, and I really enjoyed that class. I got introduced to scripts and script writing and screenwriting, and I really found something that I enjoyed because I've always liked writing stories when they were assigned, but I never did it on my off time. So having that class was like awakening.
Mm. And so, like, that's what got you inspired as a playwright, as a script writer.
Yeah.
Nice. Nicely done. Okay. So when you found your spark in writing, was there like specific genres that you loved, or did you stick with like a mix of stories, like mixing sci-fi with fantasy and that good stuff?
Uh, pretty much everything that I've written seriously has been more on the death aspect, the
Okay.
death genre. I don't know. It's like my thing. I can't stop killing people in my plays, in my
Oh my
scripts.
God.
But but I I can write something else. I really like writing a comedy, um, and a lot of dystopian stuff.
Hmm. And okay, sorry, I just can't keep thinking of that your little statement right there. Like, there's a bunch of I'm trying to prepare the Mortal Kombat voice like fatality in your plays. Um,
Mm. Yes.
okay, it's a little spooky. Will come to make sense. It's almost that time of year, and that got me thinking. One of your plays that you wrote, Body Bags, I'm assuming, if I can
Yep.
remember,
First.
Body Bags, the very first play that was shown in your college career.
Mhm.
Is there was there like any inspiration behind that? Like any details that inspired you to write Body Bags? And it was a good play too, funny too.
Thank you. Thank you. Body bags was it was my first. ever play that I, wrote. And the concept of the story was, the classic trope of boyfriend has to meet girlfriend's parents. But I was like, oh, that's boring. Let's make the girlfriend's parents serial killers. And then I was also like, that's also boring. Let's actually have the story told in limbo. Like the main character, his name is Luce, short for Lucille. Lucille Angeli, which is actually my little wordplay of fallen angel, something like that, like something about death and angels. But basically, he's dead and he's telling the story of how he died. And the main inspiration was just that trope. And I built upon it and evolved it into body bags.
That reminds me of this old movie called Sunset Boulevard. If I'm getting that right, I think it's Sunset Boulevard. It's have you seen that movie by the way?
I have not.
Ooh, it's a good movie. It's a suspense movie. Um, I don't want to spoil too much for those who are watching this and would like to see it. But what I will say is, it's narrated by a guy who was killed, and they found his body floating in the pool. And it's pretty bizarre how you have like this one character who is literally speaking from beyond the grave. And I like what you did there in Body Bags. Like, I like how you incorporated that sort of story and character arch where it creates this suspense, and you picked the right guy to play that character too. Our friend Ryan
Yep.
Ansara. Ryan, if you're watching this, good job, good performance. Keep it up, buddy. Um, and also you did a great job on the casting too. Like, how did you know to match these actors with your characters? Like, did you see them walk into an audition room and say, I can see this guy as this character?
Actually wasn't uh in a place to choose who played who. I was just the writer for Kobe, I think it was his name, who directed the play. Um, and yeah, I didn't get no say, but yeah, I was really, really cool cast.
Hmm. All right. Well, what was your impression when you saw, like, okay, I'm speaking from a writer's point of view because I've written short plays, and I know how satisfying it is to see these guys bring your story and your characters to life. It's really satisfying. Uh, how did it feel to see these actors like really deliver your characters and the story?
It was so cool because they took these characters and made them better in a way. The original characters that I had in mind, because you always have an idea of what your characters look like, what they sound like. Always. Any writer says they don't is lying. So I had who they were in my head, but then the actors who played and portrayed them, they did it so well. Especially the actress who played Missy, because Missy is supposed to be the girlfriend character, and she's supposed to be in my interpretation like super bubbly and like carefree, slightly rebellious. But the portrayal was like edgy and dark, like with the costumes, and it was so cool to see how everyone took their characters. And yeah,
Sounds like a gothic comedy, like Dark Shadows starring Johnny Depp. Entertaining, nonetheless. All right. And Alvin, you've also acted on stage, and I got to see you in one of them, which was Life on the Art, written
yeah.
by our dear friend Yasmin. Uh, what was that experience like for you, and how did it feel to act on the college stage? And feel free to bring up your previous acting experience as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was the second time I've acted on stage. The first time being Alison Kirstenberg. That first time I played a gender bent husband named Ernest, and um, and it was very hard for me to act because I've never done it before. It was my first time ever, and but thankfully I had a lot of help from my cast, the director, and they really taught me a lot. Like I didn't know what stage directions were. I'm like, what? I didn't know what upstage or left or right, what any of it meant. But I learned all of that vocabulary. I learned everything. Uh, and high key, I kind of have a talent for like, like thinking like the character. So that part was a little easier, but the memorizing lines was super hard. And but eventually I got it all. Um, and I had a blast doing it. In in Life Under Art, it was just putting the shoes back on. Everything clicked. Um, and I was also acting alongside Hayden Harbison. Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
And I don't know. When we like do stuff together, it's very fun. I feel like him being there with me is like comforting in that I see a familiar face, someone that like plays well with me.
Yeah, I remembered after Life Unto Art, um, I literally went up to you and Hayden, and I told you guys that you have this chemistry, this character vibe
I remember.
of like Chip and Dale from the Disney
Yeah, Chip and
cartoons.
Dale.
Like I can totally see you guys being like these rescue rangers type characters because you again you have that brotherly connection like Chip and Dale. That really plays well into your chemistry on stage and um in the filmmaking processes as well. Because
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, I heard you and Hayden also worked on a few film projects as well.
Yeah. Well, for starters, we both wrote scripts that we submitted into our shorts, and they're both chosen. They're film A and B. Uh, that was one. We didn't have any involvement in the actual like production, but we were the writers. We also did a short film together, where we had a bunch of friends help, and I shot it and he directed, but we both wrote the script, and yeah, we collab, we co-op things.
And was this like for a department thing?
No, it was for our shorts, like a submission thing, mini contest, but it was also for fun because we wanted to
Oh,
work together. Yeah.
oh, okay. So it was like the club activity and the extracurricular fun.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And you've actually uh oh geez, what was I supposed to say? I'm blanking out right now. These puzzle pieces are everywhere. Uh I've seen you act in Life on the Art and in certain GMP activities. Um like I find it hard to believe that you were just breaking into this because you were doing such a good job too. And
Thank you.
honestly, I'm excited to keep seeing more of what you do when I drop by Studio 411.
Yes.
Uh, so how is like this entire GMP thing treating you? Like from my perspective, you're doing like very well. You're making yourself at home and you're looking like you're at home too. And I totally relate to that. I know the feeling.
Yep. Um, yeah, GMP's been great. I well, it's kind of like it was my first ever opportunity to do something in a field I'm really interested in working in. And it's also my first ever club, like ever. I've never joined a club in high school. None of that. It's my first ever club. the first few GMP meetings, people were super loud and extravagant. And I was like, oh man, these people are not it because they're just too loud. But then we started doing activities. I started meeting people. I started talking to them. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this is pretty cool. Um, yeah, but GMP's been great, and I'm glad I could be a part of a club like this and with such a good like
High energy, good vibes, and all
yeah, good
that.
vibes.
You're one of us now, Alvin.
Yeah, I
You've
know.
entered the world of thespian arts, and there's no turning back. Once you're
That's
with us,
it.
you're with us for life.
I'm glad.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Like when I broke into theater in high school. Well, again, I started when I was 8, but I didn't really, take it seriously until high school. I wasn't invested prior to that, but by the time again I started doing theater in high school, I started getting more invested, and I knew there's no turning back. No turning back, Alvin. You're one of us now. Okay.
Yes.
And you've got you recently just showcased your writing in Hayden's little play festival.
Yes, the Summer Inland Empire Play Festival. Yeah. I wrote
Hmm.
a play called I'm Looking for Frank Fun. Yeah.
Nice. And how did it go? As because unfortunately I had to miss that due to my trip to Joshua Tree, which got cut short, unfortunately.
Oof.
Hey, Joshua Tree was good. I mean, I had a good full day, and but honestly, I really wish I went to the festival and saw all my favorite friendly faces again because it's been a while.
Yeah. Missed
Which
you.
I missed you guys too. It's been so long already. It's been the longest month and a half,
Yeah.
and we're currently battling a really bad heat wave. And oh, look at that! You guys did a play festival in the heat.
In the heat. Yeah. Yeah. Luckily Hayden had a bunch of tarps and a bunch of drinks and snacks, so everyone was like good, but it was still hot.
Resourceful.
Yeah, very,
How
very
hot
good.
was it? Triple digits?
It could have been triple digits. I hesitate to say it was anything less than like 95. But it was
For
also a
theater.
little bit in the afternoon, so it was mostly just residue heat.
Mm. But at the end of the day, theater survived.
Theater survived.
You see
This
how powerful that is?
the
Theater
show,
survives at the end of the day.
the show will always go on.
Yep.
Always.
You see, I'm always saying this like all the time. The arts are essential because, well, they overcome anything. Look what's been going on these past few years. It's the arts are amazing, the arts are strong. The arts is not only entertaining, but it builds like strong connections between a diverse group, and it's beautiful too. Would you agree, Alvin?
It is very beautiful, Gerard.
Yeah, we need the arts in this world. We always got to keep that in mind.
Yes.
Alrighty, and Alvin, do you got any upcoming works as well? More awesome plays and
Ah, you know me, Gerard. I'm always writing. Uh,
yeah.
I'm writing. Oh, I'm writing two things. No, three things. Oh, dude, I'm writing three things. Um, in terms of plays, I'm writing. It's been like a year since I started it actually. Uh, it's called My Violet, and basically the play is about, a mother who has postpartum depression, and she has to find a way to like keep herself afloat in a very not so good economy in New York City, which is tough. But that plays like very, oh man, that's tough. That sucks. So yeah, that's that. I'm also writing a few screenplays. One of them's about Santa. Yeah.
The as in for Christmas?
As in uh Santa who does not so good stuff. It's a comedy.
Not so good stuff.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. All right.
Um,
The speaking of these themed plays that you got, I really like it whenever the holidays play into it because there's there's like these little elements that shows uh, even tradition can be bent. Like they can be kept authentic. Is this what you're doing with your little play of Santa not doing such a good job?
yeah, it's definitely authentic, but it's it's very themed. It's gonna be very themed. Christmas, all the jazz, presents, elves even.
I can already picture a few things going on stage already. You got the costumes, you got the lights, you got the holiday vibe. Uh, I can already see this being part of like the comedy holiday family specials like Home Alone and Jingle All the Way and a lot of great Christmas movies. But this is going to be a play format. It's
It's gonna or it's gonna be a screenplay format, so like
oh,
film.
screenplay.
Yeah.
Oh, another one to the collection then.
Yep.
That kind of reminds me. One of the things that I've always wanted to do as a host is, well, put up a holiday showcase. A little uh spoiler into the future. It might not be this year, but it might be probably next year because holiday showcases are really great. You got the family vibe, the holiday vibe all into one. Friendly faces seeing each other again. Maybe I should pull through
Yes.
with that.
That sounds sick. That sounds real sick.
And maybe you can write something for me too, like a stage reading or a short
Of
play.
course. Of course, Gerard. I will do anything for you. I will write. I will write. I will write.
Oh my goodness. I just noticed you're the first fine artist that I have on my show.
The first fine?
Fine artist. Like fine arts includes creative writing, sculpting, painting. Basically,
Oh,
it's
easy. Yeah.
yeah, the fine. You got all confused there for a minute. Like, what's the fine part?
Fine?
Dude,
Like what?
dude, there's fine and performing arts. Like the performance is theater, singing, dancing.
Oh, see, I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's the best part about the life of an artist. You're still learning. You're a student forever. I'm a student forever, and I'm still learning a few things.
Yeah.
A little secret. I every once in a while, I keep forgetting stage directions. Like I keep forgetting upstage and downstage. I know all of these are from the perspective of the actor,
Hmm.
but sometimes I forget if downstage is to the audience or away from the audience. Uh, okay, I already forgot now. Um, any theater kids watching this, please help me out. Please help me out. I keep forgetting whether upstage is towards the audience or away from it. It's one of those for sure.
Has to be.
Yep. Alrighty, there's a plan in the future. Me hosting a holiday showcase. It could be filmed. It could be like those. I always thought about having it as one of those uh, classic style. It's like where you have the host coming in. It's all black and white, and the minute he starts introducing the performers and the artists, it all goes into color. You know what I'm
Yes.
talking about, right, Alvin?
Yep. That'd be sick. Intro music. Phew.
Yeah, intro music like calm holiday vibe. Get the bells and
The bells.
get
Yes.
the bells.
That sounds sick. Yep.
Get the bells, get the hot chocolate, get everything.
Hmm.
Alrighty. Uh, so Alvin being the first fine artist as a writer on the show, Uh, I can't wait to see all these writings go onto the stage or onto the screen. And yeah, uh, Alvin, is there any tips, pieces of advice that you would like to share to our audiences, including the kids who want to be a writer like you?
Mm. Um, well, I'm me, and you have big boys in the league who will give tips and all that stuff. But if you want to hear from me and my honest, you know, take on giving advice to aspiring writers and established writers, is that everyone works at their own pace and everyone is different. And it doesn't matter, well, no, it does matter what you write, but every time you write something, um, my biggest tip is, does it feel like something you want to write, if that makes sense? Is it something that you want to spend time in and energy in? Because I find myself sometimes ditching scripts and ideas when I'm like days in because I just don't like it. I don't like writing it. If I don't like writing it, then why am I gonna do it? So it's like that common phrase, do what you love, write what you love. If you don't love it, then kill it. Like throw it away. Don't be afraid to scrap ideas. And pursue with the more fun, cool ones.
Very enlightening too, because again, I'm also a writer myself. My artistry comes in uh, like a whole plethora of activities. One of them is writing. I've written a few plays myself, short plays. Um, yeah, there have been times where I've had to like throw away a few scripts because uh, I felt like what Alvin said is the story just doesn't, feel like it would be written by me. For example, I don't think I'd be good at, I don't know, writing a romance novel or a romantic comedy or uh take Alvin for example. He finds um he finds easiness writing horror stories or gothic comedies. Uh,
Yeah.
Myself, I've written only one little romantic play. I don't know how to feel about it. I have mixed feelings about my own romantic play, but yeah, as a writer, I'm still finding my spiel because
Mhm.
again, as an artist, any type of artist, whether you're a fine artist or a performing artist, you're always learning. You're always uh, taking notes, finding lessons. You're a student for life. Remember that, artists. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching and listening to episode 4 of Hearts and Arts, which, by the way, is now available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Happy listening, everyone, and give one round of applause for Alvin. Thank you, Alvin, for being here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Gerard.
Of course. And I can't wait to have you again in a future episode. All right,
Oh,
ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, enjoy your day.